Have you ever had a sleepless night? The clock seems to stop. Your eyes refuse to remain shut, and your mind is in overdrive. You're either super excited because you're expecting something great or beautiful, or else you are overcome by fear, uncertainty, panic about something sad or tragic that has happened or is about to happen. I remember one such night, on the eve of a major surgery I had to undergo many years ago in my younger days. It was a serious and quite a major intervention during which anything may or may not happen. Suddenly it dawned on me that this could be the last night for me. Panic took over. Fear seemed to paralyze me. How I prayed that night. At one moment, something happened, and a conviction rose up within me of the one thing I could be certain about. As if Jesus himself was telling me, don't be afraid. Anything or everything may change tomorrow, but nothing will change one thing. As sure as I am with you now, I shall be there with you wherever you will be tomorrow. And a great peace descended upon me, and I slept. If I'm speaking to you now, it's because I did wake up, both from my sleep and from my surgery. Have you ever had a sleepless night, agonizing over a fear and unknown that was hidden in the darkness of tomorrow? A sense of helplessness in a situation that you felt you could not handle? Take comfort. Jesus had his own sleepless nights also. In today's Gospel, the evangelist recounts how Jesus had a rough night. Just after a seemingly very successful experience in Capernaum, healing people, casting out devils, performing miracles, this town is described as the hometown of Jesus, as well as the hometown of Simon Peter, of John, Andrew, James, as well as Matthew himself. It was surely the town where he was at home, and where he made some devoted and long-lasting friends. It was good to be there. And we see Jesus retiring with his disciples after a long and what seemed a very successful day of miracles, healings, popularity, people happy. And yet Jesus seems to have had quite a troubled night. At least that's how I understand it. So much so that he got up long before dawn to pray. Was this one night in a series of others when he could not sleep? When he would spend the whole night in prayer? Well, there must have been many. He's know very well what happened in the last sleepless night that Jesus had in the Garden of Gethsemane. The agony of that night on the eve of his passion and death. In today's Gospel, we see the first days of Jesus' ministry and also of his first sleepless night. The Passion and Crucifixion were still a very long way off at that time. He had already become a wildly popular healer, a miracle worker. People adored him, flocked to him, saw him as one who taught with authority. not like the scribes, the Pharisees. He had gained the respect and esteem of the people. He had become a crowd puller, a hero. It would have been normal for him to sleep a bit late due to the hassle of coping with such a great demand from the people, but surely he would not find it hard to get some sleep, even if just out of sheer tiredness. And yet, he could not sleep. So much so that, like all of us when we're dead worried and cannot sleep, he got out of bed and gave up on trying to sleep. It was well before sunrise, and he went to pray. After an amazingly popular, successful start of his public ministry, what could have been troubling and disturbing Jesus so much that it prevented him from sleeping? He could have easily gone to sleep, exhausted. So, what was worrying him? It seems, as from what the Gospel says, that he was tortured by some big and momentous decision. Yes, right there in Capernaum, in the first days of his ministry, there was still a big decision that Jesus needed to take. Shall I stay here? Shall I settle down here? Or shall I move on? This is such a good place, surrounded by such good people. A number of them have already become my disciples. Things are moving according to plan. Everything is working like clockwork. Even in those times, they did not have any clocks. Would it not be good for everyone to just establish myself here, manage my campaign, and let my disciples spread out and preach the good news? People would flock to me from all over the place. Such a big temptation. Stay here and you will be safe. Venture out and danger would be lurking out there to get you. Leave your hometown and the powers of hell will rise against you. Go further and the storms of jealousy, envy, opposition, persecution will be unleashed against you. If you move out of this comfort zone, it will be rejection, persecution, death. The world will be hell bent on destroying you. Take a step out of your hometown and it will be suicide. Wouldn't it be better to just grow old here as a popular hero than venturing out and ending up crucified? No wonder he could not sleep. No wonder he spent the night in prayer. And the morning came and the disciples came back to him, radiant, excited with the impressive success of the preceding day. Simon Peter and the other disciples were so enthusiastic for yet another day. Master, Master, everyone is looking for you. They want you, they love you. You're the hero. Stay here and consolidate your power and success. But he simply told them, let us go on to the nearby villages, that I may preach there also. His purpose was not to build some earthly kingdom. His purpose was not to be the popular healer, the powerful miracle worker. Those were only signs of the real healing, the real miracle he came to accomplish. The healing of hearts, the opening up of hearts of people to God and neighbor. This was the hardest miracle. This was the good news that hearts of stone can be changed into hearts of flesh. And that change can never happen just through impressive or convenient but short-lived healings of minds and bodies. That change can only happen if he himself would first take upon himself our pains, our death. Only by his own dying would he give us life. And that night he knew full well that he needed to move out of his comfortable zone and popularity and go and pay the highest price to become himself the supreme witness of this good but painful news that only he who gives his life for the sake of others will find life. When we are agonizing over our own impending pains and deaths, let us open our eyes of faith and see him standing there before us, telling us, do not be afraid. Anything, everything may change tomorrow or the day after. But one thing will never change. As surely as I am with you now, I shall be there with you wherever you will be tomorrow. Our sleepless nights will then turn into a glorious morning. Thank you and God bless you.